In August of 1993, Reach Out Pregnancy Center opened its doors in the Tall Oaks Shopping Center in Harrison, Ohio. Since then, the Ministry of Pregnancy Care and Parenting Assistance has grown tremendously. 30 years later, we celebrate the accomplishments of those who heard God's call to open Reach Out, and all of those who have volunteered and supported the center since.
Who would know something about the history is Lois, and I said, well, in fact, I'm going to talk to Lois today.
Yeah.
But she said to say hi.
Oh,
But she
good.
gave
Well, it was probably around 1990, and I saw a little ad in the Harrison Press that someone was wanting to open a pro-life center in Harrison. And I answered the ad, and I went and had a little interview with her. She had all the desire to do this, but she really didn't have the backing or any, financial help. And I really kind of then backed away because it didn't look like anything was going to come of it. But some folks from St. John's got involved, and they actually took off with it. And I got a call from Ed Lohman wanting me to come back and volunteer. And so I did, and started at the little hut down on Walnut Street. Back then, I had no previous experience, had never been in a pro-life center, so I didn't have any idea what it would look like. I expected, everybody that walked through our center was going to be somebody that was trying to make a decision about an abortion. Well, it's not that way, really. A big part of what we're more about is just being there to show people that if they need help and if they make the decision to keep this child, there's people that are going to help them. And I think that sometimes is enough to make them make the right decision.
Glad you're here. Thank you.
See you, darling. How are you? Good, thanks. You look fine.
My life at that time was in shambles, and I didn't feel like I was the right type of person to be part of a pregnancy center. I had an abortion, and I was post-abortive. The Lord chased me around for probably about 5 years, dropping different people into my life, saying, you got a lot to offer. You've been where these girls are. You've walked the path that they've walked. Let the Lord use what you have experienced. I'm sitting with women across from me in my spot where I was when I chose life and I chose death. And I was able to look at them and go, I know where you are. I understand how you feel. I get it. I want this unplanned pregnancy. I want you to look back on it and say, it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
It was amazing, really, what we got done in that tiny space. I started when they were still on Walnut Street, jammed into this tiny little building, and then we decided to start looking for new space. So I was part of the group, and in fact, my husband had a heart for this. So he was also part of the search for the new space. And we ended up with the one on Harrison Avenue.
It was so exciting. And I was in tears. I just could not believe this place.
I could see the difference in the clients. They were relaxed. They had their space and privacy. We had room for the boutique. It is like everything we dreamed about when we moved from Walnut Street to Harrison Avenue.
In the beginning, we really didn't have any formal programs until we got the Earn While You Learn program. We would show them videos about childcare or pregnancy, and then on, even financial stuff. Through that, we would have them coming back and they would earn baby bucks. And then we bring them in here and they shop, and they're just thrilled.
Now, I would love to say there were times that it was a little scary as far as what was in the checkbook, and I used to panic. And I remember one time we were really, really tight financially. It was a tough season. I'm like, okay, Lord, you're gonna have to come through. And I get a knock on the door. We're not even open for clients at the time. This couple walks in, never seen them before. And they're like, our parents passed away and we wanted to give this to you. And they handed me a check for $10,000. And it was the biggest to date single donation we had ever gotten. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. oh my gosh, the Lord will provide. You know, don't panic. The Lord will provide. And over and over and over again, he just, in different ways, his plans aren't ours.
The thing that drove me and made me appreciate being part of this was it was so faith-centered. It wasn't just among us on the board or the volunteers, but it was what we tried to give to the clients. You know, give them a sense of faith and hope. Seeing actual happiness on many of their faces was like an incredible reward that I didn't expect. I wasn't paid, but I was richly rewarded. That's an experience I'll always cherish.
There have been people that have come back and told us that we turned their whole life around and saved them. There's been mothers that have brought their daughters back. Just those few times kind of opens your eyes to like, yeah, there's probably a lot of stories out there that, you know, we don't know. You know, if they feel like they can't handle it alone, you know, there's people here to support them financially, spiritually, morally, everything.